Business Foundations for Mums, with me, Kate Butcher, is the podcast to listen to if you are a mum who is ready to launch your business, not sure where to start, or wanting to turn that sideline into something more serious. It will be full of practical tips, mindset advice, and inspirational and honest interviews with mums who are juggling business and motherhood, supporting mums in business to turn your dream into a reality. Hello, and welcome to Business Foundations for Mums. Today, we have another inspiring mum who I'm going to be interviewing. And today we have Katie Bowers from the Surrey Skin Clinic. So, Katie, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, thank you very much for being here. And I want to start off by asking you to just give us a little introduction to yourself, your business, who you are, what you do, your family, how it all fits in together.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Katie. I'm 42 and I'm a mum to Rosie and Albie. So Rosie is 5 and Albie's 4. So I have those two lovely children keeping me extremely busy. I also have a dog, so I'm a dog mum and wife and daughter, all of the family stuff. I live in Oxted in Surrey, and I started the Surrey Skin Clinic last May. So I've only been in the business for a year. So I'm a newbie, and I certainly have felt new to business and obviously to the industry. So I'm a skin specialist and I follow an approach called corneotherapy. And this is a term that not many people know about, and even people within the beauty industry don't know about it. So yeah, I'm kind of on a mission to change that so that it becomes more well known. And what corneotherapy is, it's an approach to skin where the outermost layer of our skin, which is the epidermis, is kept in contact and respected at all times. So where this becomes quite interesting is we're being constantly told to blitz our face, to scrub it, to peel it, to use retinols, acids, and goodness knows what else, all in the name of achieving a healthy glow. And what corneotherapy does is it teaches us to leave the skin as Mother Nature intended. If we leave the top layer of skin alone and we don't aggravate it by using too many aggressive treatments or aggressive ingredients, then that will eventually mean the whole kind of flow and balance of the skin will flourish. So it's a different approach, and it has power. It still has powerful results, but it's just educating clients on why it's much more safe and kind of approachable and sustainable. It means that if you allow the skin to function as it should, then you will achieve longer lasting results that actually will last your lifetime. So it's been quite a journey because, you know, I've got 2 young children. Albie doesn't work. Albie is at nursery 3 days a week. So I'm currently working 3 days a week, and then I have Albie on the other 2 days. So starting off last year, it was great because I was super excited. But then I also had that kind of challenge of, okay, well, today I've got Albie, so I can't actually do anything on the business. And that took quite a lot of getting used to. And just by being present with him and putting my phone down, that's taken a while for me to just switch off, because there's always something that you want to do and you have to do, but you just have to say no. Today is my day of 100% being, you know, a mum for Albie, and that's it. So it has been quite a journey up until now, and I'm only in the beginning of it. So that's a little bit about me.
Amazing. I didn't know anything about that approach to skincare at all. It sounds like a very natural approach as well.
It is. It's very natural. It basically is just giving your skin a chance to function as it should. And what that means is allowing your skin or giving your skin the right kind of ingredients. Most skincare products that you buy over the counter will have emulsifiers and preservatives fragrance, and these just upset the natural kind of balance of the skin. So through corneotherapy has led me to discover a skincare line that follows the science of corneotherapy too, which is dermavigils, and it has completely changed my whole kind of outlook on skincare. Has completely changed since I discovered dermavigils and corneotherapy. And it's just, yeah, it takes some getting used to, because obviously on social media we see lots and lots of treatments that shave the skin, for example, dermaplaning. And whilst you get some lovely, fantastic results that you glow instantly, and I've had it done. I have been there and done it and got the t-shirt. Before I discovered corneotherapy, I was, well, I need that miracle cream. I need that 6-step facial that's going to give me that eternal glow. And all it does is over time is upset the natural oils found in our skin and our skin barrier, which is our skin barrier, and our mature skin cells, which are called corneocytes, and they make up our stratum corneum. And over time, those ingredients and those treatments will unfortunately disrupt the skin, and you'll start to see redness, dryness. You might even break out a little bit more. So corneotherapy just gives your skin a chance to breathe, basically, and get back to how Mother Nature intended it to function.
That sounds amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I know nothing about skin or skincare. I was taught by my mum when I was, however old, adolescence, skin, cleanse, tone and moisturize every day, morning and evening, and leave it at that. And I've never really done anything more than that. I think I've had a facial twice in my life. And that's about it for me. I've never really done anything with my skin or really looked after it in any way, shape or form. But
well, you're probably better off doing that than having what I was doing. I was trying out every single product that there was, because I was searching for that miracle cream. And if you keep it simple, moisturize, cleanse, tone, moisturize, SPF, that's the important last step, then you should be fine. It's when you start kind of messing around too much with different products and treatments that are too aggressive for the skin. And if you're using a skincare line that doesn't support the skin, which unfortunately most skincare products off the shelf, they have those emulsifiers that I spoke about, then over time it is going to disrupt the skin. So it's a minefield out there. It's completely overwhelming at times. It was for me when I qualified to partner with a brand that I wanted, that kind of met my philosophy and my beliefs, because there's so many out there.
Absolutely. And if I'm honest, I mean, I don't have a clue what goes into the products that I'm putting onto my skin. I think we're all very conscious about what we put into our bodies in terms of what we eat, aren't we? I mean, like many people, I look at the ingredients that are in anything I buy off the shelf, and I make sure that there's certain things that I don't buy. And I don't like my children to have drinks that have got aspartame, or however you pronounce it, in it, because various things that you just look out for and you avoid, and avoiding palm oil that's not from sustainable sources and things like that. But actually, when we put stuff on our skin, we're putting that on our bodies as well. And I mean, to be honest, I'm going to change that slightly. I have looked at the ingredients list on the back, but it means absolutely nothing to me. I don't understand it. I don't know what any of those things are. So I don't know whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. So we don't have that knowledge, do we?
No, and it's such a minefield. And actually, the reason why I got qualified in skin is because I actually started a YouTube channel when my son was nearly born. I was pregnant with Albie, and I really I didn't want to become an influencer. I started my YouTube channel to give me an hour or half an hour of being not a mum, basically. I needed that space to, I'd research products, and I'd look at treatments, and I'd look at trends, and I felt like, I'm really, really enjoying this, but I don't have who am I? Why is someone going to watch my video when I don't have a qualification? So I actually got qualified in skin so that I could say on my YouTube channel, I'm qualified in skin, so therefore I kind of know what I'm talking about. But it wasn't until I actually did the hands-on training side of it that I thought, wow, I've got, I feel like a connection with the person that I'm doing the treatment on. And then from there, I thought I actually really enjoy doing the skin treatments. But I just, when I qualified, it's literally like, okay, you've got your level 2. You can go out and perform treatments on clients and charge them. And I thought I'd only just scratched the surface in terms of the skin and what it can do, and how it functions. And actually through that kind of search for a skincare line, which every skincare line that I got sent to try, third or fourth ingredient was fragrance. So, and some of them were, the price for them was £120. And I sat back and I thought, I'm going to be selling a product to somebody they're basically perfume. They're spreading perfume over their face for £120. It just did not sit right with me. And fragrance is a big thing for me. And I remember having conversations at my training school, and everyone sort of saying, "Oh, you just need to get over it, because it's it's part of the experience. It smells lovely." And whilst I agree with that, because previously I'd buy products that smelled like a spa, because I'd open it up and it would be like, it's just like being a spa. It has no goodness for the skin. Our skin does not contain fragrance, so it doesn't need fragrance, and it's actually very disruptive to those oils, the lipids that I spoke about. So when it's a minefield for a consumer, once you get qualified, it's a complete minefield as well, because they label up perfume in so many different names, so you don't actually know what's in it unless you become like a formulator. So even professionals are, it's a big world out there that we don't really know the full extent of what's going into that that product. So it's it took me a year. So I graduated in 2021, and I in about April, and it took me nearly a year to find the brand, the skincare line that I felt 100% comfortable with partnering with. And it's because of the corneotherapy that led me to them. So it's really, this is where Skin Specialist comes in, because if you're buying a cleanser or a moisturizer and you look and you go, oh my gosh, I don't know what that means. A skin specialist will have some idea of the ingredients, and it's why it's always good to you speak to your doctor about, or a nutritionist about supplements, and they might recommend a supplement for you to go and take, and you'll go ahead and buy it and take it. And when it comes to skin, it should be the same approach. But because we see it every day, we're looking in the mirror and it's attached to us, where it's attached to those emotions. We think, oh yeah, that's fine. I feel we don't give it the care and respect that it really does need. And the skin is an amazing organ that it self-renews. It tells you, it's giving you clues when things aren't right internally. And it's kind of a system for response. So if you're feeling a bit low, if you've had late nights and you've not drunk enough water, too much alcohol, you'll wake up and you might have puffy eyes, you might have slight redness, or you might get some congestion, and it's your body kind of saying, right, we need to take care of ourselves. So
absolutely.
it's
wow. And it's am I right in thinking as well, the skin is the biggest organ in the body?
Yes,
on
the
body.
largest organ. Yeah, it's the largest organ, and
I think we sometimes don't think of it as an organ, but it is.
No,
it's a living thing. It's like you say, it's
yeah. I mean, if we were to wear our heart, thank goodness we don't. If our heart was on the outside of us, we'd be like, oh, it would just become, oh, that's our heart, but because it's inside us and it's the heart and it pumps blood around our body, and it's like if we don't have our heart, we're going to die. It's the same with our skin. If we had have skin, if we didn't have any skin, we'll just be a mess on the floor.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I mean, it protects us.
it
It's
protects,
yeah.
it holds us together. It allows us to feel and touch and sense, sense touch. It's an
Mm,
incredible organ, and it just, I feel, with social media, it's there's so many, and it's brilliant because it means we're getting more educated, where we have more kind of um, we have more freedom in saying, actually, I'm going to try this for my skin.
mm,
But if you don't know what's in the products, if you don't know what skin type you have or what your skin is telling you,
mm.
then you're probably going to end up aggravating it even more. And that's where, skin therapists can come in and really help you to get back. I like to think of it like getting back to basics and really just allowing the skin to function as it should.
Yeah, absolutely. And what kind of treatments and what kind of things do you do for your clients to help them with their skin?
So my treatments are literally, my treatments are facials.
Mhm,
So I haven't got any kind of machinery. Everything is my hands.
mhm,
So it will be a facial treatment using the Dermavidual products. And I've recently been trained with Abigail James, who is a London, she's a celebrity London facialist. She's just an exceptional role model. She's built her business up from scratch as a single mum. She had 3 children, and she did all this, whilst being a single mum. And it was absolutely, to spend those days with her, training with her experience, which is like 20 years plus in the industry, has
mm,
has been incredible. So now I'm able to offer Rejuveology to my clients, which is pure face massage, and it draws on lots and lots of different techniques, such as lymphatic drainage. We touch on acupressure, fascia, which is gently kind of molding and moving the tissue between your bones and muscles. So you've got that skin, fleshy skin that we roll, and it's just incredible. So I'm really excited to be launching that hopefully next month. So yeah, it's all hands on here.
fantastic. So can you only realistically work with clients who are in the same geographic location as you, or do you do any online consultations of any
Yeah,
sort?
no, I can online. I can do online because the power of Zoom, I can have a face to face kind of consultation
Mm,
online, and then it's an in-depth consultation, whether it's online or in person. And from
mm,
that, I'm able to get to the real bottom of my client's skin concerns. So um, I look at not just treating the symptom but by finding the cause of what's going on. And sometimes that might be an internal issue
mm.
where they're not taking the correct supplements. Now I'm not a nutritionist, so I will never tell any client to stop eating dairy or gluten or anything like that, because it's beyond my remit. But I know enough about essential fatty acids, for example, to know that it's essential. Every skin cell is it's required within the body, and not just for skin, but for all of our cells.
Mhm.
So I, will look at internal things as well as external, because it all plays a part in why your skin is behaving a certain way.
Absolutely. I mean, I know from personal experience, if, there's certainly, there's certain times of the month when, as your hormonal
Yeah,
cycles change, where your skin changes, but equally there's also, certain times where, maybe you've had a heavy weekend and the results of that definitely show through your skin
yes,
the week
yeah,
after, or if you're, having a particularly unhealthy week with your food, it
yeah,
comes out through your skin, doesn't it? You absolutely
yeah,
know what you're putting into your body
yeah.
through what comes out of your body and what's showing through your skin, without doubt.
It's incredible, and our skin is 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 giving us a clue. It's
Mm.
saying slow down, or if you're super stressed and you're not getting enough sleep, that
Mhm.
will all have an impact on your skin. And I have clients that are like myself. They've got a young family, running their house. They help out on their husband's business, and this particular client has always struggled hormonally with her skin. And we were doing treatments, and I put her on dermavigils. She was seeing me every single month, and the congestion, it kept on coming back. And I said to her, when you're stressed, your body, your skin can't heal as quickly as if you weren't stressed, because cortisol gets in the way and it starts playing havoc with everything. And this lady, she never stops. And I just said, finding half an hour, if it's just reading or listening to an iPod, so a podcast, or listening to some music, just switching off will really, really help. And it's not through, there isn't a kind of a magic formula that will erase everything, because what's going on internally, I can't help externally through the use of products. We have to have an understanding of what's going on with us, and be honest enough with me to say, what, I don't switch off, I am stressed, and that can cause issues with the skin. So it's kind of, sometimes I feel like I'm a therapist as well as a skin specialist, because I spend an hour and a half with my clients, and when I see them regularly, it's part of that process. And that's what I love as well. I love being able to to give a service that truly does care for the skin. And it's not just about making loads of money, because whilst I am in it because it's a business, I want to make money. I wanted to feel that I'm doing it in the right way, and by selling skincare products that contain fragrance just wasn't on the cards for me. And it's being able to really truly help someone and their skin, because that gives them confidence. And it's important. We see ourselves every day, we look in the mirror and we want to feel good about ourselves. So having that understanding of where my clients are at from a kind of mental health and wellness perspective is totally kind of just as important as what they're using topically on their skin.
Yeah, amazing. And it sounds to me as well, you mentioned earlier as well that you have your 3 days a week when you're working, but you have your 2 days a week when you really switch off from work to spend time with your son as well.
Yeah,
and it sounds like you've really got a good level of balance there. And I think, just talking about how stress levels and things like that impact on the skin, I think having that balance is really important.
Yeah.
So do you find having that balance within your family life impacts well on your business as well?
It does, but it took me a very long time to get to this point where I literally have to set limits on my phone, so that I have an hour on Google, like web browser, and then a little message will come up, 5 minutes left for the day, and I know that I've had an hour, and that might have been split up throughout the day, but it's really, really important, because I wasn't being the best mum that I could have been, to Albie when I was off with him, because I was on my phone and I was thinking, oh, but I've just got to squeeze this in. And I'd put, the telly on for Albie, which is fine, for half hour or an hour, whatever music that you need to get something done. I think use it, or the iPads, whatever it is. But I found that I was thinking, oh, if I just put the TV on, then I can I could go in my treatment room. And he was actually watching the TV for like 10 minutes, then coming to find me. And he's like, what are you doing? When I'm there, he wants me to play with him, and he wants me to be with him. And that's what I struggled with in the early days. And I just had to find a way to switch off, because it just wasn't working. And I was finding I just wasn't being the mum that I wanted to be on those two. And it's only 2 days a week. He starts school in September. I'm never going to get those 2 days back. So my mindset, I definitely had a word with myself and just shifted my mindset. And yeah.
And I think that's really hard to do. I think a lot of mums, myself included, I'm really guilty of when my children are at home, sort of saying, "Oh, just have a bit of time doing whatever," and cracking on with some work. And I think when you've got lots of work to do, and when you might have your time when you're dealing with clients, but there's always something else that needs doing. There's always some more research, or there's always something that needs to go out on social media. There's always more to do. The bookkeeping, the whatever it might be. So it's really easy to get drawn into doing that stuff when you're actually on family time. And it is a real juggle. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, Albie would very frequently come up to me and say, "Mummy, get off your phone. Can you put your phone down now? Can you come and sit with me?" And I think when he started saying things like that to me, I was like, right, I have to just try and kind of balance things out a bit more. But it was very, very difficult in the beginning because I was so excited, and I launched in May. So I had May, June and July, and then I had the children off for the 6 weeks holiday. And at that time, I just started, so I didn't have many clients booking in, but I still felt I needed to be working on my business by social media and, like you say, research, and just making sure that I'm sort of up to date with current knowledge. And it was it was a struggle, but I've got there in the end.
It is, and it absolutely is a juggle. And the 6-week holidays are a real challenge for mums running a business. There's always a juggle and a challenge to do. And I think whatever route you go down, you always feel some guilt about it, don't you? There's always that mum guilt. If you're putting them into clubs, if you're sending them off to do various things, you feel the guilt that you're not spending the time with them. But then equally, if you're spending all the time with them and you feel like you're neglecting your business, and then you feel the guilt about neglecting your business. So getting that balance, well, I think there is no such thing as balance. And in fact, on the previous interview episode that went out, we talked about balance. I don't think there is such a thing as the perfect balance when you're a mum with a business, because if one thing is going really well, the other thing is invariably, struggling in one area.
Episode. That really resonated with me because it's so true.
Yeah,
and which is why I know this is a question that you ask at the end, but a saying that I keep saying to myself, like piece of advice, is slow and steady wins the race. And it's just every single time I feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do what I want to do, I just think, you know what, it is what it is, because I've got 3 days a week, and those 3 days are for me to do, mainly to do hands-on treatment, because I can't have clients around when the children are here, because that would not be relaxing for anybody. But yeah, and it's just those 3 days are between the hours of 9 o'clock till 2:45. That's my kind of my window, and anything outside of that it just has to come. It has to come second, which is why I feel that it's taking me longer to attract new clients, to get into a rhythm of being on top of the skincare and making sure that their products are replenished, because I have to be messaging them, and I haven't got a system in place for that yet, because it costs money every month, and I'm not just there yet. So I'm relying on my clients, and luckily they're fantastic at saying, "Oh, I need a new my cleanser's running low, please can I order another one?" So, but it's things like that if I get really, really busy, that could actually start to affect my income my revenue. So at the moment it's working, because I just can't take on another 20 clients, because I wouldn't be able to serve them as the best that I can. So it's I want 20 new clients, but it's slow and steady wins the race.
Absolutely. Do you know what? It's interesting that you use that quote, because actually that's a conversation I had yesterday with somebody. I have another business which is property investment, and I was talking to one of the mums that I met on a property mums retreat, and actually one of the things that we were saying that on a message yesterday, slow and steady wins the race. Absolutely. And it has to be like that if you're a mum in business, I think, and certainly in that property sort of sphere. I'm part of a group of mums in property, and I've been to a couple of their retreats, and I'm on their Facebook group and go to their online events. And it's something that comes up time and time again, that in that industry and in some industries, things are really like go, 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 get up early, work all day, do everything. And if you're a young single man, you can spend all of the hours under the sun, investing and doing this and doing that and really sort of go getting for your business. But when you're a mum, you've got so many other responsibilities. Some of the things that a lot of the trainers in that industry are suggesting and saying, this is the only way you can make it work. It doesn't work for us as mums. It really doesn't.
It really
so
doesn't.
we've got to find a way to manage everything and fit it all in so that we can be present for our families, we can fulfill all our responsibilities as parents, we can spend time with our families, and then use those pockets of time that we do have. And like you say, slowly but steadily build up our businesses in the time that we have.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. It's such a, and not that there's any resentment, because when I was working full time, I'm new to the skincare industry, the beauty industry, but it's always kind of been bubbling away underneath me. But before I stopped work, I was working in London. I was a business development manager, so I was having to take clients out and make sure that we had a steady flow of in our pipeline of work coming up. And it was, when I got pregnant with Rosie, I we had that conversation, because the unsocial hours that was required from me just wouldn't have worked. Bill, we're in the same industry, that's how we met, and Bill also at times has unsocial, or social work, that sociable things that he has to attend for work, and so that means he's not getting home till super, super late. And we just decided that it just wouldn't be right for us as a family for me to go back to work. And and Bill's life has changed, but in some ways it hasn't, because when he gets up, he gets himself dressed, and he goes off to work. When I was training with the Rejuveology a few weeks ago, one of the nights, it was a 3-day course, and one of the nights the children had a sleepover, and I got up and I had a shower and I made a cup of tea, and I didn't have to panic about getting the children up and making sure that they've got their packed lunches and their hair's all nice and neat and they've brushed their teeth. And I drove and I was thinking, wow, this is amazing, like just to get up and go. But obviously they've got their stresses and pressures and a whole other thing that they're dealing with work, being a breadwinner as well. Bill is the breadwinner, and so that's a pressure as well. But it just made, I had a little snippet of actually getting up and just getting myself ready and leaving. it was lovely.
Absolutely. Definitely a novelty to get an opportunity to do that, isn't it? Without doubt. Gosh.
I know.
And that leads us on to, you said that you decided that when the time came when you had children, that your husband was going to carry on working. What was it that made you then decide that you wanted your own business?
Well, when I found out I was pregnant with Rosie, and we decided that I'd stop work, that was, the decision. I always felt like, oh, I'm going to need something. I'm going to need to do something, and I don't know what, because I want my cake and eat it. I don't want to go into London again because the hours, but I don't want to work for next to nothing, So I looked into beauty, and at the time it was the full beauty qualification, so nails, waxing, skincare, and it was quite a lot of money for me to do the training. And I walked away thinking, I haven't got the interest in the other areas of the qualification. So I kind of parked that idea, and then I thought, well, I can talk about beauty and other things that I'm really interested in on YouTube. No one will watch me, but that's fine. It will give me a sort of a moment, a period of time where I can do something and talk about things that I like to talk about, other than nappies and breastfeeding and all of the new mum talk that you surround yourself in, because you're all in that same position. And I'm not like boo-booing it, because it got me through those, early morning and late, really early morning feeds. It got me through that, but I just needed something else, and that's why I started my YouTube channel. So, and that was brilliant, but obviously there's no income. It was, you spend this time, and that's fine. It served its purpose for me at the time, because it allowed me a little bit of, like an interest, a hobby. But as I started really kind of niching down into my videos, and that was the skincare products, that's when I thought, okay, if I was to get, when you start researching and you think, well, what else could I do? And at the time, they had kind of got the beauty therapy course, and they had like sectioned the skin element from it. So by the time that I was looking, when my son was born, you could get qualified in skin. So it's facial massage and skincare is the qualification. So you didn't have to do the whole other elements of the beauty qualification. So that was it then. When I saw that, oh my gosh, you can just do skincare, I signed up for mainly so that I had a qualification for my YouTube channel. But then I actually was like, I could do this, and I could actually offer something that is extremely different, because not, like I say, not many people know about corneotherapy. And so I wouldn't be at competition with any other skincare specialists in my immediate area. And Dermavigils, the skincare line that I use, is completely, it's very, very new in the UK. Well, it's not new, it's been around, but just nobody, has
not
heard
well
of
known,
it.
I suppose.
It's not well known, exactly. And the beauty of Dermavigils is I can actually custom blend my client's own skincare products. So every single treatment that I do on a client will be completely bespoke. So I have 30 actives, ingredients that I can put into a serum, use on my client, and then if they want to purchase that, then they can, and they'll walk away knowing that they've got something that nobody else will have, because it's each blended to each individual. So that's kind of led me into thinking I've got something very, very unique, that once people understand what corneotherapy is and how Dermavigils work, it will go boom, because it changes skin, and that's what I want to do. And it changes skin whilst caring for that outermost layer of the skin. There's no kind of aggressive treatments or aggressive procedures. So yeah, that's what led me to the Surrey Skin Clinic, to set that up.
Fantastic. My gosh. And it's so much work setting up a business. There's so many things to take into account and take into consideration. And what would you say your biggest challenge has been so far?
My biggest challenge has been, apart from the time and the balance, my biggest challenge has been, so when I set up the Surrey Skin Clinic, I went through Companies House and I became a limited company, which you don't have to do, but that's just the route I wanted to go down. And in my naive head, I thought, oh, well, now that I've registered the name, the Surrey Skin Clinic, that means nobody else can take that name. But it's not the case. And 2 weeks after I launched the Surrey Skin Clinic, there was another Surrey Skin Clinic launched as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was the biggest challenge that I had. My legs literally went like jelly, because I was like, how can this be? The Surrey Skin Clinic is a very, definite
There can't be
name.
another limited company of that name, but
No,
somebody
there can't be
can set
another
up.
limited. Yes. And this is what the other person did. And actually, when I was going out for networking events, and I'd say, oh, I'm the Surrey Skin Clinic, and they'd say, which one? So I was thinking, if that's people that I'm meeting, what are clients going to do? And I then started receiving her bills. I received her business rates bill, because I'm limited, I'm registered. So for whatever reason, the council over that way in Surrey, just did a quick search, saw me as a Surrey Skin Clinic, and then sent me the bill. So I was like, what do I do? How do I go about this? And the first thing that I did was I applied for a trademark, because I wanted to do it the correct way. I didn't want to get into any kind of, well, I did it first, but kind of playground behavior, which I'm sure it wouldn't have, but in my head, I was building it up to something that it probably wasn't. I just wanted to make sure that I'd gone through all the right channels before I approached the business and say, look, we can't be having the same name because it's confusing. And also, I'm receiving your bills, which I don't want to do. And I spent half an hour on the phone to say, this isn't me. So please, can you sort it out, because this isn't me. One of the letters said, if I don't respond, then I will get a fine and I'll get a strike against my. I was just like, this has got to stop. So that was my biggest challenge. It caused a lot of it took me away from positive energy into my business, and it was very, very like anxious and negative. So I applied for the trademark, which it cost me money, but it's what you do. And once that was nearly at a completion stage, I contacted the same business name, and I said, look, we can't be trading as the same names. And I said, I'm registered on Companies House. That particular owner was a sole owner, a sole trader. So she didn't have to go through Companies House. So there was no reason for her to think, oh, the Surrey Skin Clinic, and she said that she did check trademark, the trademark kind of portal, and it hadn't been registered at that point. But obviously now it has. And there was I didn't have to get legal. I didn't have to get any solicitors involved, thank goodness, because some advice that I got was, oh, you need to send a cease and desist letter, and that will cost X. Like, I didn't even know how much it cost, because I was like, hopefully I won't have to go down that route. And thankfully she was very amenable and changed her name. So but that was the biggest challenge today.
That's
and I
definitely
don't want to have to go through that again.
And I've come across other people I've worked with and other clients who've had very similar experiences. And it's really tricky if maybe somebody there was a lady I work with, I've just seen today actually, who had something very similar, and somebody had a similar name, but it wasn't close enough for it to be trademarked or anything like that, but also a very similar logo and very similar products and in the same geographical area, and everything was very similar but not the same. So there was nothing that she could do about it apart from to approach this other person who in this instance wasn't as amenable. And it does just cause so much stress and so many issues. And it's really challenging because some people do intentionally. And I think possibly in this other scenario I'm talking about, some people do actively go out and copy what they see as a successful business, whereas other people can do it quite unwittingly, just set up a business and not realize. And it does go to show that sort of market research and checking that names are available and checking that there aren't other people trading under a similar name to you is so important, because it affects both businesses. It does. It can negatively affect both businesses if there's somebody with a very similar name. So it's a really important step. A lot of people don't do it.
What I found frustrating is that when I thought of the name, I straight away, through advice of my website engineer, he said make sure that you buy .com and .co.uk. So I did that, and thank goodness I did, because there could be the surreyskinclinic.com and she could have been the surreyskinclinic.co.uk. Exactly. But what she had done is set up a website, .net. So if that had been me and I thought of the Surrey Skin Clinic and I went to check if that domain was available and it wasn't, I would instantly think someone's got the Surrey Skin Clinic, so I can't use it. But unfortunately, she went ahead and just got the .net. But for me, that would have been, I would have then done a little bit more digging and research and found out, is the name taken, or is it available? So it was, it kept me up at night, so many nights, just thinking, how am I gonna how am I going to approach this? Because I had no idea.
Oh, it's so stressful, isn't it?
So
Absolutely.
stressful.
My
So,
gosh.
but it's sorted
Wow.
now, and
Good.
thank goodness she was totally like lovely about it, and
Mm.
I now wish her all the best. From at the start, I
Fantastic.
was like, "Oh my God, damn it! How could she do this?"
Yeah. I think, like you
To
say, we kind of almost build it up in our heads as well, don't we, about how the other
massively.
person might react, or
Yes,
a lot
it's
of it's
ridiculous.
very easy to
Yeah,
overthink these things. Yeah.
my husband said, just email her and
Mm.
explain. I was like, I can't do that yet because, what if she then sets up a trademark for the Surrey Skin Clinic, and
Mhm.
then I'll have to change it, and I can't do that. Like,
Mm.
so yeah, it was a challenge.
Absolutely. Gosh. Thank you. So that brings us on to finding out a little bit more about, are there any specific tools that you use within your business that you think would be a good tool that you could recommend to other mums in business?
So at the moment, I mean, an oldie but goldie is Canva. I can't do without Canva. I've used it for my vouchers, for my price lists. It's just incredible. I love it. And actually, even for my YouTube, I use it for my thumbnails.
Hmm.
And you can remove the background, which I think you have to pay for. But I just can't be without Canva. But more recently, I have discovered, and I'll get the name for you because it's literally a couple of days ago. It's an AI kind of platform that helps you write posts.
Are we
So
thinking like something like Chat GPT?
I think it might be, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
so basically, it a post on Instagram takes me ages. I overthink. I read over it 100 times because I want to make sure that it's right, because I don't want to look silly, and
Mm.
then it ends up taking me an hour. So what this does is you can literally type benefits of facial massage, and it will come up with a paragraph. And
Yeah.
it's all fine to use. It's all been like, there's no copyright or infringement or
Yeah.
anything like that. And I'm going to look into it way more. You can tweak it around and obviously make it your own, but to have the
Yeah.
body would be like seriously life changing for me, because
Amazing.
I overthink everything. But at the moment, I was Canva, but
Yeah.
everyone loves a bit of Canva. But then
Absolutely.
I'll find out the name of this
Yeah.
platform, because it
If
will
it is
change my
Chat
life.
GPT, I've heard quite a lot of people talking about it recently, and I'm actually going on some a content creation using Chat
Are
GPT
you?
training
Well, you're
next,
the
or
woman then I
networking
need to talk
meeting
to.
next week. I think I'm going, or the week after. Next week it must be.
Yeah,
But I have also heard a few people saying that if you put the content directly from Chat GPT into social media platforms, the social media platforms can recognize if it's been written by AI
right.
and will reduce your reach as a result.
Oh,
So it is
okay.
still important to make sure that you can still use it, but
Yeah,
then tweaking it, as you say,
tweak
to
it.
your voice, just
Yeah,
like you said, making it
yeah,
your own. But
yeah.
equally, I saw a really good tip on LinkedIn, where somebody had suggested that you can actually say to it, I'm going to upload 3 articles now that I have written. Please, can you use those to replicate my tone and my style of writing in future posts and in future articles that you write for me? And then you upload your 3 articles. Here's the first article, upload. Here's the second article, you upload. Here's the third article, you upload. Now, in all future posts, please replicate my tone of voice. And I just think that's so
That's
incredibly
incredible.
clever, isn't it?
It's
Um,
quite scary what can
Amazing.
be done now.
Very scary, and scary to think how that technology can change in the future. But let's not go down
Exactly.
that route. That's a whole nother long
Exactly.
conversation that I don't want
Yeah.
to get into
Yeah.
now or know enough
Yeah,
about.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, at the
Amazing.
moment, I'd be happy with just giving me that kind of that push.
Mm.
Um, and then I can tweak it, because I'd want to tweak it anyway,
Yeah.
because it just wouldn't feel right. I would feel like a
Mm.
copycat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just having that little bit of kind of help would be
Amazing.
massive for me. So I'm definitely going to be looking into that.
Yeah. I
And
haven't
yeah, and
used
if
it
you're
very
going
much
on,
at all, but I'm definitely going to be
no,
trying it out at some point
well, if
soon.
if
Yeah.
you're doing that training, then yeah, I'd
Mm.
be definitely interested to find out more about that.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. And do you have a favorite business book that you would recommend as well?
So it's not really business, but I've been reading Get Rich Lucky Bitch by Denise Tuffle Thomas, I think
Duffield
it
Thomas,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's, for me, that is money mindset that I definitely need a lot of work on when I started a business. But yeah, that for me has been my main kind of book that's really helped me in my business, because it's money mindset, and we obviously need a good money mindset. And I'm also just generally very recently got into Davinia Taylor's Hack Your Hormones book,
Okay.
which is incredible. I love her. She just tells you how it is. And I've got audio book. So, and for me, obviously, skin, hormones, it's all related. So I'm on, and I'm 42, so I could be, getting to the perimenopausal stage. So I just want to make sure that I'm up to date with things. So her book is fantastic.
Oh, I'm
Not
going
that
to have
it's
to
to do
check
with
that one
business,
out.
but yeah, it's good for hacking your hormones and finding out why you're eating 5 packets of biscuits overnight, which is what I do.
Fabulous. I mean, this question of hormones keeps coming up at the moment. I keep hearing more and more people talking about hormonal changes, talking about it in terms of, like you say, the menopause and the perimenopause, and about our cycles. We had a guest speaker talking in our membership about hormones and cycles, and actually a conversation again I've been having this morning about, my children. My daughter's now 10, and some of the other children of the parents I was chatting to this morning were saying similar ages, and we're going to need to start thinking about the changing hormones in our teenagers and children. Hormones are something I don't think necessarily know enough about in our own bodies.
We really don't. And it's great that we're talking lots about menopause. It really is. And you could be approaching menopause for 10 years, and in those 10 years you go through so many hormonal changes. And if we were to just go straight to the doctors, because they're a general practitioner, they will advise hormone replacement therapy, which works for some women and it doesn't work for everyone. And what Davinia Taylor is talking about is, if we go armed with a little bit more information, then we're going to know what's happening to our bodies, and we're not going to be so reliable on, oh, okay, the doctor said I need to go on HRT, so therefore I'm going to go on HRT. Would be a bit more knowledgeable about what's going on with our bodies. And that's what I really like about her, because from my point of view as a skin therapist and corneotherapy, my aim is to educate my clients to understand the skin just a little bit more, so then they're armed with the right kind of knowledge so they can look after it better. And that's so I feel like, hacking your hormones, maybe I could do a hack your skin. Hack your skin, but that sounds a bit wrong.
Skin, skin and hormones, they're very much hand in hand, I suppose, aren't they?
They are, and it's something that I'm very interested in. So that's my second book. Although it's not business related, it is very, very of the time. So
no, I think it's very relevant, definitely. Absolutely.
Very, very
Fabulous.
relevant.
And before we finish, Katie, please could you just tell us where people can find you, all of your links and places where you hang out? And you've still got the YouTube channel, have you, as well?
I have, yes.
So
I
tell
have.
us all about those places.
So on Instagram I am at the Surrey Skin Clinic, and on YouTube I'm Skin Talks with Katie. I also have a Facebook page, which is the Surrey Skin Clinic, and those are my 3 main kind of platforms that I use. So go onto YouTube, you'll find lots and lots of skincare products back in the day before I discovered corneotherapy, so you can have a right old laugh, because I have been there and done it and got the t-shirts. And then my more recent videos are all about corneotherapy and skin health, and how just by understanding a little bit of corneotherapy can really, you can really boost the health of your skin.
Fantastic. So, and you've got a website as well?
I have, yes, which is www.thesurreyskinclinic.com.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
No
Well,
worries.
thank you. I've really enjoyed listening to the passion with which you talk about your business and the passion you've got for skin and skincare. So thank you very much for sharing that all with us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time and let me on your podcast.
It's been lovely to chat.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here at Business Foundations for Mums. You can find all of our episodes, show notes and blog posts at businessfoundationsformums.co.uk, and you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook.